Welcome back, everybody. All right, so in this tutorial, let's make a tablet. All right, so we're going to scale this down. Of course, we'll scale on the z-axis, and we'll scale it again on the z-axis. We'll make this really thin here. And let's scale this along the y, it'll scale along the x-axis. Scale it x-axis, we'll just kind of do something like that. That looks like a tablet right there. Now, one of the things that we have to do is make sure that there are rounded edges, and the best way to do that is to simply add in the bevel modifier. Okay, and then this one we're gonna have to take up something more like 6 segments. Just tab into edit mode, and I think that should be fine. This is pretty low poly as it is. Okay, so we'll deal with that just like this. Let's tab back into object mode and apply. All right, yeah, so this isn't the worst here. Now you'll also notice that for every vertice that we create, we kind of have to create a whole bunch of other vertices, and that's just the way it works here. Now, the one thing that we're going to do, and this is a little bit more complicated than it sounds, is to add in the button. Okay, adding in a round button to a square object is a lot harder than it sounds. Okay, so having said all that, let's just do a couple things first. Let's hop in. Let's select the let's actually select loop cut, and we're gonna cut it like that. Okay, now remember, when we're in object mode, all of these cuts you don't see, right? As you can see as I'm tabbing in our object mode. So let's hop back into edit mode, and let's go into here, and let's actually just extrude, right click, and then extrude again, just down just a bit. Okay, now making this a little bit more detailed than you need it to be. If you're making a very simple game, specifically a mobile game, you can just add in, you can make this a lot more easy than it sounds. You want to have way less vertices, but because it looks cool and because people are probably going to ask, I'm going to make sure that we do that here. The next thing we need to do is we need to go to create, and we need to actually hop into object mode here. And let's create a cylinder, and this cylinder is way too big. Okay, so this is going to be the button here. Now, the problem with this is normally if it was like a button, for example, if I'm going to scale it again, I'm just going to scale it on the z-axis here. So normally if it was a button that protruded like this, we could just kind of do this here and call it a day. But we can't necessarily do that. So first things first, let's get our button to the size that we want here. This button actually looks pretty good the way it is. Let's just tab, right click this and tab into edit mode here. And yeah, we can just probably move that over just a bit like that. Okay, sounds pretty cool. Okay, so this is a two-part tutorial, and the reason is that we've set everything up here, and the next tutorial kind of warrants its own little tutorial. I'll see you guys then.